Good evening to you all. Today, we begin the 5th episode from Surah Al-Aaraf. So who is more unjust than one who invents a lie against Allah or denies his signs? Those will receive their share of the decree until, when our messengers come to take them in death, they will say, "Where are those you used to invoke besides Allah?" They will say, "They have departed from us," and they will bear witness against themselves that they were disbelievers. The meaning of the statement is that there is no one more unjust than someone who fabricates things about Allah, associates partners with him, or denies the Quran. All three of these types will receive their share of the punishment that has been decreed for them in the book, which is the Quran. As for his saying, until when our messengers come to take them in death, the part that's underlined, there are two opinions about this. The first opinion says that when the angel of death comes to them in this world, what does he do? He comes to take their souls. In this case, the angel of death will question and rebuke them with a reproachful question, meaning, "Where are those whom you used to worship besides Allah? Go ahead, call on them now to protect you from me. Here I am, about to take your souls. And of course, I will take your souls by Allah's permission." All right, that's one opinion. First, the second opinion says no, this isn't the angel of death in this world, nor is it about taking their souls. No, those who are coming to them. When it says when they come to them, these are the angels of punishment in the hereafter, and they're coming to complete their number before gathering them into the fire. So that's the verse, and those are the two opinions. What's the source here? It's Lubab al-Tawal Faimani al-Tanzil by Al-Kazim. The real question here is, did this conversation actually happen according to the first opinion in this world through the angel of death? Or did it happen in the hereafter through the angels of punishment, as per the second opinion? That was the real question, because it makes a huge difference for us. The second question is, how is the text being used? Notice the tenses are in the past. While the day of judgment hasn't happened yet, they'll tell you, they said, it already happened, wherever you call upon besides Allah. So the other opinion responds to that. These are the angels who are asking whether it's the angel of death in this world or the angels of punishment in the hereafter. Very good. People who are being taken, or infidels, or those who speak ill of God, or lie about the Quran or others. They said that this is a thing of the past too. So this happened? They said they had strayed from us. And that's not all. And they testified against themselves. That, too, is a thing of the past. They were also a thing of the past. Past tense verb. Take care. When did all this happen? We do not know whether it happened in this life or in the hereafter, because the end has not happened yet. She hasn't woken up yet. If this happened in this world, it simply means that there is no hell in the afterlife. The nonation that should be noted in this verse is that the text used the third person pronoun. He says against God, he doesn't say against us. No, he says against God. All right, let me do it in this color so it's clear, or maybe in another color. Honestly, I don't know if the colors are clear in front of you, against God falsely, or denying his signs, not denying our signs. And then at the end, He says to you, besides God, that's the verse. So here, the discussion is about God in the third person in all three cases. He said, enter among nations that passed away before you, of jinn and humans, into the fire. Every time a nation enters, it curses its sister nation until when they have all joined each other in it. The last of them will say to the first of them, our Lord, these are the ones who led us astray, so give them double the punishment of the fire. He will say, for each of you is double, but you do not know. Actually, there were three different readings of this word. The first group used to read it as Al-Darko, just as you see it here, the one that's underlined. And the second group used to read it as Tadarko. And the third group used to read it as Adrako. The meaning is that there are two groups. One group says that God is telling the disbelievers, O disbelievers, enter the fire along with the nations that came before you from among the jinn and humans. And there's another group that says, no, it's not God who's saying this, it's Malik, the keeper of hell, who's telling them, O disbelievers, enter the fire along with the nations that came before you from among the jinn and humans. All right. So the important thing is, whether it's God saying it or the keeper of hell saying it, they entered the fire. Every time a group of disbelievers enters, they curse the group that came before them until the leaders of the disbelievers and their followers are all gathered together. The followers then say to our Lord, O Lord, these are our leaders who led us astray, so give them double the punishment. So God said to them this, it's not just the leaders. You too will get double the punishment because you listened to them. Here's the verse. So who's the source here? It's Al-Qurtubi's elgendynyc Al-Quran. The question here is, when did this conversation happen? When did it take place between God and the disbelievers? The day of judgment hasn't even happened yet for all of this to take place. Is this an imagined scenario of what will happen on the day of judgment? For example, is that the issue? Or did he hold them accountable in this world? Because that would mean hell was in this world. That's the point. And then I really find it strange that the text uses verbs in the past tense. It says he said, which means he already said it and it's done. He said, enter among nations who passed away before you from among the jinn and mankind. Every time a group enters, pay attention. Every time a group entered, meaning it already happened. Not every time a group enters. No, every time a nation entered, it cursed. See, all of these are verbs in the past tense. That means it actually happened. So when did it happen? The day of judgment hasn't even happened yet in the first place. Honestly, I want to understand this. Even when they caught up is also a past tense verb. And when they all gathered there, you see, there is. That's the point. She said, that's the point right there. The last of them, the followers, said to the first of them, such and such, these people led us astray, meaning it really did happen that they led them astray, and that's it. It's not like they're going to lead us astray. For example, so give them double the punishment of the fire. He said, meaning God said it himself, not he will say, no, the matter is settled, he said. So when did he say it? If the day of judgment hasn't even happened yet in the first place. I don't really get this part. Like, all these people went and said all that and everything. Anyway, you know. All right, fine. The point is, Those were the questions. And of course, there's a note here. The truth is, there is someone there talking about God in the third person, saying he said. So here, someone is speaking about God. He said, and again here, there's talk about God in the third person in the verse. And the first of them will say to the last of them, you had no advantage over us, so taste the punishment for what you used to earn. The meaning is that, of course, in the previous verse, the followers said, O Lord, punish our leaders because they are the ones who led us astray, and brought us to this fate. So now the leaders are coming to respond to them. The leaders? No. They said to them, no, The leaders said to the followers, you disbelieved just as we disbelieved, and you went astray just as we did. So we and you are equal in disbelief. So taste the punishment. Who is the one saying the word so taste? Some people say it's God who is saying it, and others say no, it's the keepers of hell. What are they saying to them? Who is the source here? Is the ocean of knowledge still resting? All right, fine. So here, who is it that's talking about the leaders and the followers in the third person? And she said, is it God who is conveying what they said to each other, or is there someone else speaking? Here, too, the question is, these people are talking to those people, and those are responding to these. When did this conversation between the leaders and the followers take place? When the day of judgment hasn't even happened yet in the first place? Was hell in this world? That's still a question that really presents itself. And then the text here also uses verbs in the past tense. And it says, she said, that's a verb in what? The past tense. Here's the topic. Because of what you used to do. That's also what? In the past tense. Indeed, those who denied our signs and acted arrogantly toward them, the gates of heaven will not be open for them, nor will they enter paradise until the camel passes through the eye of a needle. And thus do we recompense the criminals. The recitation. The recitation, in fact, used to be read differently. The word tafadahu, that's how it was. Huh? It used to be read as yaptahu, as you can see written below. The word aljamal. There was a team reading the sentences. The camel is not the camel. No, it is more convincing to the idea of the camel than the camel, because this camel is an animal and will never fit through the eye of a needle. What is the sentence? The camel is the rope that they used to climb to bring dates from the trees. Meaning, those who denied our proofs and evidence, the heavens will not be open for their souls when those souls leave their bodies, and neither their words, nor deeds, nor prayers will ascend for them. To where? To the heavens. And likewise, it is impossible for them to enter paradise, just as it is impossible for the rope we mentioned, the one the worker uses to climb the date palm and pick dates from above, to pass through, just as it is impossible for this very thick rope to pass through the eye of a needle. It is impossible for them to enter paradise. Who is the source here? It is Jani al-Bayan Thai Tasir al-Quran by al-Tabari. All right, folks, here are the questions. Is there even such a thing as heavens in the first place? And does the sky actually have a gate to begin with? I mean, we need to assume that there is a sky. Of course, science says there are no heavens, not even one, let alone 7 heavens. But let's assume that there are heavens. Do the heavens have doors that can be opened or closed? That was the question. The second question is, how are the gates of heaven going to be closed in front of the souls of the disbelievers who have already died and entered hell, as mentioned in the previous 3 verses, 37, 38, and 39? I mean, you're going back and starting from scratch with me when they've already entered hell and are sitting there blaming each other, and God told them, enter, and all that. So I could go back to the verses we mentioned earlier for them. From hell is a bed, and above them are coverings, and thus do we recompense the wrongdoers. What does it mean? That those who deny the signs will have the fire of hell surrounding them, like a mattress beneath them, and above them it's like a cover. So basically, there's fire laid out beneath them, and they're covered with fire. And this, mind you, is the punishment for every wrongdoer and every polytheist. Who is the source here? The source is Mafadi al-Gaib by al-Razi. Actually, what should be pointed out here is that he uses the first person pronoun, we recompense, even though in the previous verses the speech about God was in the third person. Honestly, I don't have a question or anything here. And those who believe and do righteous deeds, we do not burden any soul beyond its capacity. Those are the companions of paradise. They will abide therein forever. What does it mean? It means that the believers who do good deeds will enter paradise on the day of judgment. That's it, simply. Who's the source? It's Malam al-Tanzil by al-Bagawi. Actually, I have a question. It says, we do not burden any soul. We do not burden any soul except with what it can bear. What's the connection between we do not burden any soul except with what it can bear? And what comes before and after? I mean, if you pay attention, honestly, it's not because keep in mind that there are so many verses in the Quran that don't have this. This isn't mentioned in the middle. We do not charge a soul except with that within its capacity. So take, for example, Hood 23. The cave is 107. Mary is 96. Luckman 8. Zodiac 11. Hajj 14. All this without this word all the time. I will remove it for you, and we will come back again. You get it. And those who believe and do righteous deeds, those are the companions of paradise. They will abide therein forever. So what harm would there be if we read the verse without it? He does not burden. We do not charge a soul except with that within its capacity. I mean, I really don't know what its relevance is here in the verse, in the text. What's its connection to the beginning? You know what I mean? I understand when verse 286, it says, Allah does not burden a soul beyond its capacity. It will have the consequence of what good it has gained, and it will bear the consequence of what evil it has earned. Our Lord, do not hold us accountable if we forget or make a mistake. Our Lord, and do not place upon us a burden like that which you placed upon those before us. Our Lord, and do not burden us with what we cannot bear. Pardon us, forgive us, and have mercy on us. Protector, grant us victory. That's reasonable talk. Why? Because it deals with obligations and all these matters. That's the verse and its subject. So honestly, I don't know what harm would come to the text if we read it without it. We do not burden any soul beyond its capacity. The important point to note here is that the text speaks in the first person plural. We burden with the we. Is it we burden, meaning God? That's what needed to be pointed out. Thank you very much. I'll see you next Tuesday. Goodbye.